Okay. So first let us see the box model. So in the HTML element, we have a head, then we have the body. And see, do you know how we can apply styles or CSS to a HTML page? We can apply styles in three ways. Do you know that? Hello, can anyone tell me what
Yeah,
are the
yeah.
three ways? Yes. So what are the three
Inline
ways?
style, internal style, and external style.
Yes, inline styling, internal style sheet, and
Inline
external
styling.
styling, right? So
Yeah.
let's say I have one H1. Inside H1, I have written hello. So let me run this file. So this is the file running. So here what I can do, I can apply inline styling like this. Style is equal to color orange, right? If I apply like this and if I reload the page, I can see it is orange color. So this is way number one. Second way is to write internal style sheet in the section. In the head section, I have one style element. Inside the style element, I can use a selector. So here what happens is in the inline styling, I don't need a selector, but here I need the selector. How do I select it? I can use the element name or an ID or a class. Okay, so here I have the H1. So I'll apply this, use this H1 selector. In this selector, what I will write? Color, let's say red. So if I save this and go to the browser and reload, I can see it is a red color, right? Okay, this is the second way. Then we have the third way where what we have to do is we have to go with external style sheet. This writing it in the head section is known as internal style sheet. Now I have to, if I go for external style sheet. So why are we doing all these things? Why so many ways to do it? Because what happens if I write all the styles in inline inside this element in the style attribute, what will happen? The code will become too clumsy. So let's say I have a big page, in all elements I will be having styles. So if I write all the styles in one, the code people will not be I mean it will not be readable. So many HTML is there, in between CSS is coming. That's why we go for internal style sheet. Again, internal style sheet also doesn't make the page look nice. What happens when there are a lot of styles, this part is filled up with initial part is filled up with styles. So what is the third way we can go for? That is the external style sheet. So here style.css, I create a file and then I write the styles here. But this file needs to be linked to this index.html. How do we link it? We write one link rel equal to style sheet, href equal to style.css. So this is the name of the file. Our file name is style.css. That's why I have to write here style.css. If the name of the file is abc.css, then I have to write here href equal to abc.css. Okay, so that's it. So now using this, how do I apply the color? What I have to do is I have to use the selector here, h1 color lime. Let's say just I'm putting a color and go to the browser and reload. So I'm getting the color here, right? Fine. So I'll be using this third way, that is external style sheet for our styles. Okay, fine. Now first let us see the box model. Just fastly, fatafat, I will show you what is model because already discussed. We need to do something practically, right? So let me I'll take two elements. Okay, h1 and h2. Two elements I will take. H1 is hello and h2. In h2 I will write welcome. So how does it look like? It looks like this, and I'll apply some styles to both of them. So what I will do first, see these selectors, whatever we are using, h1 like this I'm using, right? Color red, and then for h2 I'll write separately h2 color red. Okay, so now I think sir has not taught about deeply about the selectors. So this is a basic selector, that is the element selector I'm using. Like these different types of selectors will be there. ID selector, class selector, then many other are there. Descendant selector, sibling selector. Many things are there. So we'll learn them slowly, no need to worry. But I just want to introduce you one special selector that is known as star. So in that star, what happens is, star means in star I can write some styles. Okay, what is the meaning of this star? Star is known as universal selector. So in this star, whatever I write, it will be applied to all the elements of HTML page. So let's say H1, H2, everyone will get all the colors. So let me show you. So if I remove this H1, H2, okay, I remove this H1, H2, and in the star I write color, let's say blue. So what is the meaning of this? Applying blue to all elements. So how many elements are there? Here I have H1 and H2. So H1, H2 both will get color blue. Okay, let us see that now. So I reload the page. I can see every element is getting blue, right? So it may not be helpful all the time, but sometimes it will be helpful. So I will show you where it is helpful. So let me keep the H1 and H2 like this. Color, one of them is red and one of them is, let's say, blue. Fine. So here what I want to do is, by default HTML is giving us some kind of font. Can you see this font is something like Times New Roman? Okay, what we have seen in Microsoft Word and all. So this font I want to change it. So what I can do is, so all the fonts of the page should be changed. That is what I want. I want all the font in the whole page to be changed. So I can use the universal selector. Here I will write font family. There is a property called font family. Font family, I will use something like a Roboto. Is it coming? Roboto is not coming. Okay, let me check what else do I have. I can use this Gill Sense. Okay, I'll use this Gill Sense. Something. Okay, let me check. I think Roboto will come. I have to put it in quotes. Yes. Okay. Now let us see the font has changed or not. No, it is not changing. I have to go with the existing ones only. Arial is there. Okay. Vardhana is there. It is also a good font. Okay. Now the font has changed. Fine. So let the font. Now what I need to do is I need to apply the box model properties. So what is the meaning of box model? The meaning of box model is that all elements, all HTML elements, whatever elements are there, every element, whenever I create, it doesn't matter whether I am applying border or not, I'm applying margin or not, I'm applying the margin, padding, border, whatever it is. If you are applying, not applying, it doesn't matter. What happens is, whenever I am creating an element like this, an element is always in the form of a box. Okay, an element is always in the form of a box. When I inspect this, right click and inspect this, when I put my mouse over this, I can see it is a rectangular box. Okay, always it is a rectangular box. When I put my mouse on the second H2, again I can see it is also a rectangular box. Blue box is there, some orange color part is there. What is that orange color part? That orange color part is known as margin. So it is having margin top and margin bottom. No margin on the left and right, but top and bottom some margin is there. Other than that, no other styles are there. That means box model properties are there. Only the margin top and margin bottom is there. No padding, no border, nothing. Okay. So this is coming by default. This is, I am not applying it. Who is applying it? Automatically HTML on the browser will apply these properties to most of the block level elements. I hope you are familiar with block level elements and inline elements. The elements which occupy the whole width of the display or the viewport are known as block level elements. This H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, H6, then div, then paragraph. These are all block level elements. Okay. So not this div actually, sorry, div is a block level element, but div will not get this margin. Okay. So H1 to H6 all will get this top and bottom margin, just like that paragraph. So this text elements, paragraph is also a block level element and it is a text element. So we will get this margin top, margin bottom automatically, even without applying. Okay, so you have to be careful when you are creating your web pages. Because of this margin, you will have these kind of big spaces. Why this space is coming, you don't know. So why it is coming? Actually, because of the margin that is already there. Okay, so if you don't want it, you can remove it. If you want to reduce it, you can reduce it. Okay, you can apply margin on your own and it will reduce. Okay, fine. So now we are able to see that this is in the form of box. Now, what are the other box model properties it will have? So this margin is one of them, right? Just like that, we can have a padding. But before applying the padding, let me apply a border so that we'll be able to see where the boundary of the element is. Okay, so I'll apply one border to the h1, or let me apply it to h2. H1 is little bit at the top. So here I'll apply a property called border. Border, what are the things we have to pass in border? In border, I will pass three things. Pass three. First one is C, A, B, C. Three things I have to pass. Where A is the thickness of the border. So I'll put 1px. B, B is the style of the border. So border can be of different style. It can be solid, it can be dashed, it can be dotted. Okay, lot of different kind of borders are there. So I'll use a solid border. Then the third part, C, is the color. A, B, C. Okay, third is the color. So in color, I can put a black border. Okay, okay, fine. Save it, go to the browser, reload. Okay, so I can see that the H2 is getting a border now. And if I put my mouse on the H2 while inspecting, I can see that the orange part is outside of the border, right? Orange part is outside of the border, outside of the black border. Why? Because it is the margin. Why margin is needed? Margin is needed to create a space. Margin and padding, they are used to create space. But this margin is used to create space between elements, between two elements, between the elements, not inside the element. That's why it is coming outside. So I have one h1, I have one h2. So that margin is used to create a space between the h1 and h2, right? So that's why it is coming outside the border, because border is the ultimate boundary. Outside border is not known as that element. That means this is not h2, this is h2. Outside the border, this is not h2, this is h2. Whatever is inside the border is h2. Whatever is outside the border is not h2. Okay, so this way the margin is actually always outside the border, that we have to take care. Now let us apply the padding and see. So what I can do to reduce the margin, the margin is okay, 0.83 em is applied by default. What I can do, I can apply another margin. So what will happen if I apply margin 10px like this? What will happen if I apply margin 10px? The margin will get reduced. But again, when I apply margin 10px, it will be applied from all sides. By default, from where the margins are applied, top and bottom only, right? So if I want only top and bottom, what I will do is I have to apply it in this way. 10px and 0. So I'll come to this point where how many ways we can apply margin and all. But just see now, when I write like this, 10px from top and bottom, left and right I don't want, that's why I'm putting 0. Okay, so now I will see that the margin is reduced now. Earlier it was very big margin before applying this. The orange part was very big. Now it is a small margin. Okay, fine. So this is the margin I have applied. Now I'll apply a padding. So where does the padding gets applied? Let us see that. So again, I'll apply 10px. 10px padding from all sides, top, bottom, left, right. So I'm able to see that the green part, is known as the padding, right? Orange part is a margin. Orange part is always outside the border. Green part, that is the padding, is always inside the border. It will never be outside the border. Okay. And that blue part, where the welcome is written. That that is a blue rectangle, right? So we can see three things here. A blue rectangle, outside that a green path is there, green part is there, then outside that a black border is there, then a orange is there. So that blue part is known as content. Okay, blue part is known as content, whole rectangular area. Outside the content, the space between the content and the border is known as padding. We can see that green area. The green area is the space between the border and the content. Okay. And the space outside the border, which is used to create space between elements, is known as margin. Fine. So these are the things we have, but we can have one more thing that is known as outline. Sometimes they will ask you. So outline something like PX with green, will it work? Let me check. Let something more. 10px solid yellow. Okay. And this border is, let's say, 5px. Okay. Now you'll be able to see outside the border, we have another yellow part. That part is known as outline. Okay. So where does the outline stay? Outline will always stay outside the border. Okay. It will be always outside the border. So that is another thing which is actually not part of box model, but this kind of things are also there. Okay. It will be outside the border. Okay. Fine. That's it. So now I'll remove this outline. I just wanted you to know that there's something called outline. If in interview they ask you, you should be able to say that what is this outline. Okay, fine. Now what we'll be discussing about is this margin and padding. This border we already know. It has three things, three parts are there. One is the thickness, then the style, then the black or color. So here instead of solid, I can write different ways. Instead of solid, we have dashed. Okay, if I reload, save this and apply this, I get a dashed border. Can you see? Normal solid is solid border, no styles, basic solid border. But when I apply dashed, I get a dashed border. Then I can have something called dotted border. This is the dotted border, not a dashed one, dotted. Okay, like that we have many other things like groove. This is a groove border. So here, I don't know whether you are able to see or not. This kind of style we are getting. Can you see? This is a groove border. Then we have a ridge. A ridge is another style. This is another style. Okay. A ridge is another style. Then another one, maybe inset or something is there. Yes, inset is also another style. So this way we can have different kinds of border styles. These are known as border styles. So I will go with the default one, that is the solid. Okay, and you can use whatever you want. So I can write here dashed red. What will happen? I'll get a dashed red border now. This is how it looks like. So these things are very useful when you want to apply all these things. Okay, fine. Now I'll go move on to the margin part. What I was doing, I'll remove the padding for the time being, and I'll see the margin, what is happening here. So what happens is margin I can use in four different ways. I can apply only one value here. I can apply two values here. I can apply three values here. I can apply four values here. So what are the meanings of all these things? We should know. Okay. So first, I'll go with the single value. What is the meaning of this? Single value means apply 10px margin from top, bottom, left, right. That is from all sides, apply 10px margin. So if I apply this, what will happen? Let us see now. Earlier, it was only top and bottom. Now what will happen? If I put my mouse on H2, I can see that I am getting a orange border, not border, sorry, orange that margin from all sides. That orange part is from all sides, top, bottom, left, right. Earlier it was only top and bottom. Okay, so this way I can apply it from, if I want the same margin, same gap from all sides, I can apply only one value. I can use only one value. Okay, now let's say I will write two values. What will happen? 10px and 20px. The meaning of this is, this first value is for top and bottom. This second value is for left and right. Okay, 10px from top and bottom, 20px left and right. Let us see how does it look like. So if I put my mouse here, I can see that top and bottom is less than the left and right gap, right? Top and bottom margin is less than left and right margin. So how am I applying it? I am using two values, margin 10px, 20px. 10px is for 10px from top, 10px from bottom, 20px from left, 20px from right. Now there is the third way, that is the three values, 10, 20, let me take 30 or 40, whatever you want. Okay, 10, 20, 30. What will happen if I apply three values? What will happen here? See, top is getting, so first value is for top, second value is for left and right, third value is for bottom. Okay, first value is for top, second value for left and right, and third value for bottom. So left and right, it is always equal, right? So let us see now. So when I put my mouse over this, I can see top is 10px, left and right is 20, 20, 20 from the left, 20 from the right, and bottom one is 30. That is the third value, right? Then I can put four values. What will happen here? Four values means I am specifying the margin from all four sides. So what will happen here? This is for top, so it will start clockwise. Okay, so top, right, bottom, left. Okay, so this is for top, 20 is for right, 30 is for bottom, 40 is for left. So save it, go to the browser, reload it. Now let us see. I can see top, left, sorry, top, right, bottom, and left. Okay, all are having different values, right? So when I want this kind of margin, where I want to apply different margin for all sides, I can use this. Now, if I want 10px from all sides, I can write like this, 10, 10, 10, 10. So it will apply 10 from all sides, that is equal. But to avoid this kind of repetition, if I want the same style, same margin from all sides, what I can do, I can just write one time like this, margin 10px. So what I'll automatically get 10px from all sides. Okay. Now the exact same thing happens for padding also. So what happens here? For the padding also, we have these kind of things like padding 10px. It will apply only from it will apply the 10px from all sides. So I can see here 10px padding, green color part is the padding, 10px padding from all sides. If I apply two values, then what will happen? 10px from top and bottom, 20px from left. So I can see the left and right padding is more than the uh, top and bottom. Okay. Okay, one second. Hmm. Okay, so two values. Then I'll go with the third thing. If I go with third value, again, what will happen? 10 is for top, 20 is for left and right, 30 is for bottom. Okay, so I'll get this. Top is 10px, left and right is 20px, bottom is 30px. Same things exactly what we saw there. Again, 40px, four values means top, right, bottom, left. So I'm getting here top, right, bottom, left, different paddings. All padding values are different. Okay. If you want same padding from all sides, what I do, I use only one value. So I get this. Fine. So this is all about box model, right? Now we have some other things like this plain line block. So what happens there? We'll see that now. Now, one more small thing I want to discuss here in this, what it is called, box model. There's a small thing also. I'll not use this h1, h2, okay? I'll use a div. I'll create a div here and I'll apply some styles to that. A div, and I can use a class attribute. Okay, this class and ID are used for styling. So class attribute, I'll give a name to this div. Let's say I'm giving a name called a D1. D1, I'm giving a name to this div. And the style, how do I access this D1? I have to use a dot D1. When it is a class, I have to use dot D1 there. So here I write dot D1. Dot D1 means it is a class. Because it is a class, I am using D dot. So here I want to apply some width and height. Width is, let's say, 300 px. Height is 200 px. And border is 1 px solid black. And then anything we need? No, these are the things. Fine. So save all the files and go to the browser and reload. So this is the box I'm getting. Okay, this is the box. Okay, background color also I'll apply. Background color, let's say some light color I want. Okay, this color. This will again create problem with margins. Okay, I can use this gold color. Fine. So it looks like this now. Okay, maximize it. Okay, so this is the box I'm getting. So I'll inspect this. Okay, I'll inspect this and let me check what is the, when I put my mouse on the div in the elements list, it should show me the height and width. Somewhere I should get, yes, this is the width it is showing. What it is showing? 301. Okay, let me remove the border and show you what is happening. So I'll remove the border. Okay, I have only a height, width and background color. Okay, now see, when I put my mouse, I am seeing that it is showing here. Just see this part here. Okay, what will come? So it is saying div dot d1. What is the meaning? Div which is having class d1 and it is showing the dimensions 300 into 200, where 300 is the width and 200 is the height. So it is saying that size of the box is 300 into 200, 300 width and 200 height. Okay, the moment I apply a border, what happens? It is showing me 301 and 201. So why that is happening? Because the border width I have applied 1 px. So that is also added from all sides. Okay. So for the time being, I'll remove the border and let us consider a simple box like this. Okay, fine. Now I'll see, now I'll do some things. Okay, I'll just check this size 300 into 200 because I have applied the style as 300 into 200. Don't want it to increase, decrease or do something. Okay, so I'll see, I need in what scenarios this may change. Is it changing? Is it sometimes getting increased, sometimes decreased? Let us see that. Okay, so what I will do is I'll apply some margin. Margin 10 px. What is the meaning? That means apply margin 10 px from all sides, right? So let us see. I got some gap from all sides. 10 px we can see orange part is there from top, bottom, left, right. But what is the dimension of the box now? 300 into 200 only. It is not changing. So that means margin will not have any a bad effect on the element. It will create the gap, but it will not create. That means it will not change the size or dimension of the box. Okay, fine. Then so let the margin be there. Then I'll apply a padding now. Padding 10 px. Okay. So what is the width? Width and height is 300, 200 and padding 10px I'm applying. So now let's see. Now, if I see the size of the box, it is showing as 320 into 220, whereas I had applied only 300 and 200. So from where this 2020 is extra is coming? That is because the padding, that is because of the padding. The padding I had applied 10px from all sides, top, bottom, left, right. So what is happening from the top? From the top, 10px padding plus height is 200, again plus 10 at the bottom. So from the top 10, from the bottom 10, that is 20, plus height is 200. So I am getting 220 as height. And the width I am getting 320 because 300 plus left padding plus right padding. Okay. So it is something like, I'll write here as a comment. In the comment, I will write something. See here. Uh, total height. Total height of the box. Total height of the box is actually equal to top padding plus height of the box plus bottom padding. Okay, this is how it works. But we will see something more after some time. Wait. Okay, top padding plus height plus bottom padding. What about total width of the box? This is total height of the box, right? Total width of the box. Total width of the box is equal to left padding plus width, original width plus right padding. This is how the total width of the box is calculated when we have this padding and all. Okay. So now this is how I am getting. So total height is, original height was 200, 200 plus top padding is 10, bottom padding is 10. So 10 plus 200 plus 10 is 220. In the same way, left padding is 10, width is 300. We can see from here 300, 10 plus 300 plus 10. So ultimately we are getting 320. So this is how the size of the box will increase when we are using padding. Okay. Again, the border will also affect this thing. So border again, I'll apply 10px solid orange, orange red, let's say. So what will happen now? So now what is the box size? 339.2. So it is almost equal to 340 actually. 340 into 240. Why that is happening? So border is also getting added. So top border. So total height of the box is actually equal to top border plus top padding plus original height plus bottom padding plus bottom border. Okay. This is how the total height of the box is calculated. In the same way, total width, how much I am getting? Width I am getting as 340. So 340 means left border plus left padding, original width plus right padding plus right border. So this is how the total height and width of the box or element will be calculated by the browser, by HTML, by the browser. This is the calculation they will do. So because of these calculations, what will happen? Our box will look bigger than expected. We were expecting a 300 into 200 box. But what we got ultimately, we got 340 into 240 box. Okay. This may not be a,
So why it is showing 330?
so I have explained till now, that's what I was explaining. I explained everything. From the last 5 minutes, I was speaking only on that topic. Did you not listen it?
No, no, top border and bottom border is 10, right?
Yes, 10. So what do you want? Sorry. Hello. What are you asking? What is your doubt?
IT is
This
300. Yeah, yeah, I got that.
339.2. It is coming because of the browser calculations. Okay. It is not actually 339.2. It is actually 340 only. Okay. And it is again showing 239.2. It is
Okay, okay,
also
okay.
actually 240 only. The browser
Yeah,
calculations will be something
okay.
like that. Okay. Okay. Now what we are
I
facing
got.
here is we are
Yeah.
facing a big problem here. This problem is I should not get this kind of output, right? I should get what I wanted. I wanted 200, 300 into 200, and I want to see that. That's it, isn't it? I don't want any increase in the size of the boxes. So this thing, whatever is happening, this increase in the size of the box, width, height, and all those things, it is happening because of a property called the box sizing. Okay, there is a property called the box sizing. Who is responsible for this increase in the size? Okay, so what do I do is I can change the value of the box sizing. So by default, what happens is box sizing property has content box by default. Okay, so if I apply this, I cannot see because that is the default value. Box sizing content box. Because of this content box value, it is the size of the box is increasing. So instead of that, what I can do is I can apply box sizing border box. If I apply box sizing border box, it will not go outside of the original width and height. So let us see, reload, and box is decreased. Now if I put my mouse on the element, I can see the width is 300 into 200. Okay, so this way we can use the box sizing property to preserve or to save our original width and height, that is original size of the elements. Okay, whatever elements you are using in your HTML page, you 100% sure you will be needing margin padding, because without margin padding your elements will not look nice. They will be touching each other, they will be sticking to each other. We need some gap everywhere, we need a gap. Whatever elements you go to any website, so let's say this is the channel content, so this channel dashboard, here we are having this gap. Can you see this gap? There's a gap here. So everywhere these gaps will be there. Everywhere gap is there. Left, right, top, bottom, everywhere some gap is needed. Otherwise the page doesn't look nice, isn't it? But using this padding and all will increase the size of your box if the box sizing is not controlled. So you have to control your box sizing. How we can control? We can use this box sizing border box property, borders box property value. Box sizing is the property name, border box is the value. So I have to set the value as border box. So what will happen? It will not allow this padding and all to padding and border. Main culprit is this padding and border. They are responsible for all these things. Padding border along with content box. If I write here content box, box sizing content box, and I have padding and border, these three people will combine together and create this kind of undesired output. Okay, so that's why what I have done is I am using but I cannot remove this padding and border. I need the padding and border. So what I will do is I will change this box sizing. So instead of box sizing content box, I will write box sizing border box. Okay, that's it for box model. So this is what you should know. Now we will try to create something. Okay, we'll try to create something using that inline block. What we can do with inline block, let us see. Where do we need it? Why do we need it? Okay, is it important? So let us see that. So I hope box model is clear. So if you are able to explain whatever I have explained today in box model, starting from the margin, padding, border, and then this total calculation, and then box sizing, so your that is more than enough for any interview. Okay, that means in interview, whatever they will ask for box model, this much is more than enough. Okay, you don't need to explain more than this. That is what you should know. Okay, fine. Next, I'll go to the requirement, the importance of inline block. So let me have another box. Okay, another box is there, div. Now I'll add a class equal to d2, and so I can remove these things. I hope you have understood this calculation. So I'll create one more class d2. Here the same things, but I'll change the colors little bit. Okay, and I don't need this border. I just border. Okay, I don't need it. Box sizing, border box. Okay, let it be there. Borders I'm removing, and I'll change the color, background color. Let's say I'll use some this kind of green color, and yeah, everything fine. So let us see how it looks like. It looks like this. What is this gap? This gap is because of the margin, because I had applied margin 10px to the box. So it is having 10px from all sides. Okay, fine. Now, what is happening here when I'm inspecting it, you can see that this is, so let me little bit minimize this. Okay, this one is D1, this one is D2, right? What is happening here? The D2 is coming down. Why? Because this div is a block level element. Div is a block level element, right? So block level elements, what will happen? They will not allow other elements to be placed in their side. They don't want others to be sitting beside them. What they say is, please go to the next line. Whatever element will come here, it will go to the next line. So let's say after this div, I have a span. I am using a inline element, span will not occupy the whole width. Span is high, but still this D1 will say that, hey span, you cannot sit with me. I want to sit alone. Please go to the next line. So what will happen now? The span has gone to the next line. Again, after the span, now span is not a person who will not allow other people to sit beside him. So it will always allow other people to sit beside him. But this D2 again is not sitting beside span. Why? Because D2 is also another block level element. So it this one is also saying that no, I will not sit with span. I will go to the next line and I will sit alone. Okay, so that is the behavior of block level elements. Block level elements don't allow other elements to sit beside them. They always want to sit alone in the browser in that particular line. Okay. So this D1 and D2 are occupying whole width, and the span is just sitting alone here because it has no friends. So let me add a friend for span. There's a friend called hello, and both are inline elements. So they will not fight with each other for the seat. They will sit together. Okay, they will not say, I want to sit alone, please go. No, they will not say all these things. So I can see hi, hello are sitting together. Okay, only these only these block level elements have this problem of sitting alone. Okay, fine. So let me remove these pans now. So we need to understand these block level elements more in detail. So to make them sit together, we can force them to sit together. We have some way. Okay, we can force them to sit together. What I can do, I have a property called display, which has a value called inline block. Okay, by default display is block. So if I apply to D1, if I apply display block, and again for this D2, if I apply display block, what will happen is I will not see any change because that is the default value for D1, D2. For the span, the display is inline. Display inline is the default value. So if I apply display inline to a span, I cannot see any change. Okay. So let us see the output. Here I can see after reloading, there is no change because that display block is the default value. So what I can do, I have to apply display inline block. Again, there is display inline. But if I apply inline to this D1, what will happen? D1 will go, just see. D1 has is vanished, like it has reduced in size. Why that is happening? When I apply display inline, I cannot apply width and height. Okay, I cannot apply width and height, but still I am getting some width and height, right? That is because of the padding. That is because of the padding I am getting some width and height. But if you remove the padding, now you will see that there is no D1. Even if I have applied width 300, height 200. Okay, even if I am applying the width and height, I am not able to create the element. Why? Because of the display inline. This inline will not allow the height and width. So let us go back. So instead of display inline, I will use inline block. When I use display inline block, what happens is the element will become inline, but I can apply height and width. Okay, when I apply inline block, what will happen? It will not have that problem of sitting alone. Okay, it will not sit alone. It will allow other elements to sit with him, but I can apply height and width, which is not possible if I apply display inline. So here also I have to write display inline block, because if I apply to only one, what will happen? Now D1 is ready to allow other people to sit with him, right? D1 is saying, hey D2, please come and sit with me. Okay, but what is the problem? But still D2 is not coming because D2 is still having that block. So D2 is still saying that no, I don't sit with others, I always sit alone. Okay, I want to sit alone on the bench. So that's why D2 is not coming to D1. Okay, but if I have a span here, now I can see after div D1, if I have a span, earlier the span was going to next line. Now I will see that span will come next to D1, isn't it? I'm able to see the high is coming just beside D1, right? Okay, fine. So let me remove this pen and go back to the situation where I need to make this also as inline block. So when I put both as inline block, now they're ready to sit with each other. Okay, they will not come to the next line. So here I can see D1, D2 are placed side by side. Fine. This is how I can use this display inline block to place items side by side. Now, why there is a gap in between? This gap is because of the margin. Okay. This box is having margin 10px. This box is also having margin 10px. So 10 plus 10, it is becoming 20 actually here. Okay. So if I inspect this, I can see 10px here, 10px here. So both are adding up to 20. Okay, fine. So this is about inline block. So when we are having this kind of boxes, we can place anything side by side and it will look totally nice. Okay. But what happens is in real time when we are trying to create layouts. So let's say not this kind of, see this, a small thing I want to show you. This box is there, right? This box, if I place it side by side to this box, both these boxes are having different height. The width is looking almost same, width is equal, but the height of this box is too much. You can see it is like almost 300, more than 300, maybe around 400. But this box is having height less than this one, isn't it? So in that kind of scenarios, this layout will look little bit different. So let me change the height and let me show you what happens. So let me change the second box height 200. It is 200, right? I'll make it let's say 450. Okay, 450 px height for the green box. Now what will happen? Now see what has happened. The height of the green box has become 450, fine, but why the yellow is going down? Isn't it? This is not looking nice. This is again another undesired effect we are able to see. This kind of things we were not expecting. It is what it is called. It is somehow pushing it down or something, isn't it? Green box may be saying that no, I am big, I will occupy the whole space. So you also go down, you don't stay at top. Maybe something like that is happening. right? So this is also undesired. So we don't want a layout like this. Sometimes I may need a layout like this, but in this scenario, I don't want it like this. I want it to be like both the items should be at the top. Let's say yellow should also be at the top. So for that, I need a property called a vertical align. So I have to align it vertically. Okay, vertical on the vertical axis, the items are not aligned properly. So what I will do is, just like inline block, I'm using inline block 2 times, right? On both the elements. So in the same way, I have to use vertical align on both the elements. Vertical align, some value I have to write. Okay. In the same way, this vertical align, I have to write to the on the second box as well. Okay. Now what do I write here? So now by default, it is having some other value. Okay. So if I want both of them at the top, I will write vertical align top, vertical align top. Okay, to both of them. Remember, not to one of them, you have to apply it to both of them. When you apply to one of them, only some part is adjusted, not totally 100% alignment you will not get. Okay, so vertical align top, I am applying to both, and I reload, and I can see now both of them has moved to the top. Okay, if I apply vertical align bottom to both of them, they'll both come to bottom. Okay, this is how we can apply the vertical align. Now what happens is, in real time, this top may work, or sometimes people want something like they should be aligned in the middle. Okay, so what we do is vertical align middle is the value I pass. Vertical align middle, if I apply to both of them, it will be aligned in the middle. Okay, this is also very important property, vertical align middle. So what we are using many things. We are using to fix the problems of HTML and CSS. There are a lot of problems. Like first problem we solved using box sizing. Second problem we solved using inline block. Third problem we solved using vertical align. So these 3 lines are very important when we are writing HTML and CSS, when we are creating some layout using HTML and CSS. Okay. So, and what are the problems we are solving using these 3 things? This box sizing border box, we are using it to avoid the change in the size of the box, right? Because of padding and border. Again, inline block, why we are using? To avoid another problem. What is that problem? Because of this block level elements, they don't let other elements to sit beside them. So to solve that, I'm using inline block. And another thing, I have vertical align. This is used for fixing the alignment problem. Okay, so these 3 are like mechanics. Okay, what they do is they are fixing some of the problems that we face. Okay, now with the knowledge, so I will not learn, I don't want to teach anything more today. What we'll do is, whatever we have learned till now today, using these 3 4 properties or 5 6 properties, we will try to now create some layout. Okay, so I'll create a small layout and end this class. So let us go to our website. Okay, I'll go to adipoli.com. You can go to adipoli.com, or else you can go to adipoli.netlify.app. This is also another site. Actually, our site is adipoli.in, but because of some problems, what we are doing is, when I go to adipoli.in, it is showing me something here. It is saying, please visit our edupoli.netlify.app website. So for the time being, go to this link. You can go to this website .com or .netlify.app, anyone. Okay, and you have to go to, somehow you have to go to assignments. Here also assignments are there. You go to courses, front-end with ReactJS, and then you click on assignments. Then you go with styling a web page with CSS. Then we go with some test yourself or flexbox or something. Okay, here the path is little bit long, but if you go to edupoli.com, directly in the first page you can see this assignment, blue color big box assignments is there. You click on it and you will see a lot of assignments here. So what I will do is, I'll go to the basic styling. So I think you have practiced all these things. So I'll go to box model. Let us see what we have in box model. So in the box model, I want to create something. So you try to complete these assignments. Okay, these are very basic. I'm applying border thickness, so different kinds of only left border I'm applying. So let me go to an assignment, whether it is there or not. Let me check. This kind of things. This kind of things can be done. So this is very easy. I will go with the complex one. So if you are able to do the complex one, this will be very easy. Okay, I'll try to cover up all the things that I have learned today. Okay. So because these are having all same height, so you don't need vertical align also. So I want an assignment where I will apply all the things that I have learned today. So this is also fine. This is also very good example. This one. I want to go for this example. Okay. If you are able to do this example, you can do all these things very easily. Okay. Okay, fine. So here, what do I want to do is I want a layout like this, where on the left hand side, I have an image, a right hand side, I have some text, some heading is there, some paragraph is there, some button is there. And you can see they are aligned in the middle. Okay, you can see this part, this right hand side part is not at the top or bottom. It is in the center of the whole what it is called layout. Okay, so this thing I will try to create. So what do we need? We need one image. Okay, first let me search for an image in Google. Okay, let me take some image. So copy image address. Okay, small address is there, so I can use that. Fine. So I have copied the image address and I will place it here. Okay. IMG. So image, do you know image element? I think image element were already discussed. SRC, I'm putting it. Other than this, I don't need anything because in this page, other things I have to create on my own. This is one H1 heading. This is a paragraph. This is a button, isn't it? So I have to write on my own. Okay. Now, what I have done here, I have created only one image. Okay. So how do I get it? It is looking like this. It is a very big image. Okay. So now see what I need to do here. Here, I'll increase this size so that you can see. Okay. So what I need to do here is I need to divide the page into two parts. Okay. I need to divide the page into two parts. One part is left hand side part, one part is a right hand side part. Okay. So how do I divide the page? I have to decide some percentage values like 50-50 or 60-40. Okay. Something like that. So I'll go with the 50-50. Okay. Let me create it as 50-50. So 50% will be for the left hand side, 50% will be for the right hand side. Okay. So, so for that, I need to create two parts for the page, right? So I'll create two parts for the page. So this image, I will comment it for the time being. I'll use it later on. So I'll have two divs. First this box and another box div. So I'll apply some class to them. First div is for the left hand side. So I'll name it as class equal to left. And this is class equal to right. Okay, left hand side box or right hand side box. Now this left hand side and right hand side box both should have a width of 50%, 50%, right? So what I will do, I'll apply dot left with 50%. And dot right also I have to apply 50%. So what I can do, I don't want to apply it two times separately. What I'll do, here only I'll apply dot right. This is known as combining or grouping selectors. When I write like this, comma, I'm putting a comma and then I'm putting the class of the second box. I have one box on the left, one box on the right. So I'm applying with 50% to both of them. Okay, fine. Next. Next, we'll see what will happen. So I'll apply a border for the time. Okay, border is not needed. Okay, no problem, no problem. So left and right, we have these boxes, right? So on the left hand side, what do I want? I want this image. In the left hand side, I can see there is nothing, only the image is there, nothing else is there. So I'll apply this, cut this and paste it in the left hand side box. Okay, left hand side box, I have put the image. Now let us see how does it look like. It is still big, but if I inspect it, I will see that the left hand side box is small only. It is not a big one, not like the image. And right hand side box is okay, it is coming down. We'll see that why that is happening. Okay, so that is a small thing we need to fix. That's why I have selected this problem. Left, right, right where it is. Ah, right is coming down. Okay, fine. So what I need to do is for this image in the left, dot left space img. What is the meaning? I'm selecting the image element present inside the left, or else I can use only img, only one image is there. I'll apply with 100% for this image. When it is with 100%, it will take the 100% of its parent. What is the parent of image? It is left. So it will be fit inside the box. Okay. But our what that is the right hand side box. The right hand side box. Let me show you. Dot right. The color background red. Okay. Now see where that box is. The box is okay, not visible because no height and width is there. Okay. Height 200 px and width 200 px. Now I'll show you something. What is happening here? See, the box is coming down. I have applied 50%, 50% width to both of them. Then they should be placed side by side. Na? The whole screen is 100% and 50-50 I have applied. But what is happening? If I inspect this, I can see first box is no doubt 100%. It is showing it as 50%. Next box is also having some height and width. Okay, what did I apply here? For the right one, I will not apply the width with 200 px. I'll remove it because width I have already applied 50%, right? I want to apply only the height. Okay, now we can see both are 50%. Both are having same size, but they are not placed side by side. Ah, so there is another problem now. Okay, even applied. Okay, so I have not applied inline block. That is these both the boxes are not placed side by side. Now I'll apply display inline block, but still some problem may be there. Display inline block I have applied, right? Okay, now see, now still they are not coming side by side. I have given the permission to sit side by side. Display inline block I am applying, with 50% I am applying, but still they are not getting it. Why that is happening? If I decrease this, I am applying 50% to this one, right? But if I apply, I'll show you a small thing, okay? How do I show you that? Okay, so let me write this style separately. So for the left one, I'll write another style. So for the left one, I'll write this style again, okay? So the meaning is same. I'm just writing two times. So left one is 50%. Right one, I will make 20%. Now I will show you that they are able to come side by side. Okay. 20% weight, it is able side by side. But 50% it was not able to come. Why? There's a small reason. Now see, this box is the left hand side box. This one is the right hand side box. But can you see there is a small gap between them? There's a small gap here between them. This gap, I didn't apply any margin or anything. Padding to forget about padding. Padding will come inside the border. But I didn't apply any margin. Still, I'm getting this gap between them, isn't it? This gap I didn't tell them to apply. So because of this gap, what is happening? The total width of 50 plus 50 plus some gap is there. So it is becoming more than 100%. That's why the box is coming down. Okay, so somehow we have to remove this gap. Okay, so what I can do is, see, I will apply something called negative margin. So these are the left and right? So in both the boxes, I'll apply margin minus 2px. Negative margin I am applying. In the right also, I'll apply margin minus 2px. See, I'll show you first what happens when I apply positive margin. When I'm applying positive margin, the gap will increase. See, it has increased now, isn't it? Now, when I apply minus margin, it will try to overlap each other. It will try to reduce the gap. See, it is reducing. Can you see? This way, if I keep on going, margin minus 3, margin minus 3. Now, what will happen? See, it is overlapped now. I can see the red box is coming inside the photo, isn't it? Here I can see it. It is coming inside the photo. So this kind of things will happen when you apply minus margin or negative margin. Okay. Okay. So this is the technique I have to use to reduce the gap. But minus 3 is getting more, right? So I will not go with minus 3. I'll put a minus 2. Okay. Minus 2 px for the time being. And I'll reload the page. Now, even if there is a still small gap, but that will be considered by the browser. Now see what will happen. Now this right hand side box was 20%. Now I'll make it 50%. Okay. 50% without margin minus 2px will come to the next line, but 50% with minus 2px margin will now be placed side by side. We can see now they are placed side by side. Both are having 50% width and they're placed side by side. Okay. So this is how we have to fix the problem. So this is another thing that we have learned today. We have learned so many things. First, the problem we fixed, what was it? We used that is called box sizing border box. Then we learned about display inline block. Then anything more we learned? We learned one more thing. What was it? Three things we learned. One is this margin minus 2px. Another thing is the vertical align. Okay, so four things we have learned today, how to avoid these kind of problems. Okay, these are like hacks. These are the hacks we have to use. Okay, fine. Now let us continue what we were trying to do. We were trying to create this page, right? So now to show you, only to show you, I was using that red color. What I will do now is I will remove that red color. Okay, and instead of red color, I should get some text, isn't it? So I'll use that text. And now, okay, I'll start writing, then you will understand. So where is that red color? This is the red color. I'll remove it. And now one more thing I can do is this a right height also I'll remove. No need of height. And these two things I had combined earlier. Do you remember? So what I need to do is I will combine it again because the same styles are there with 50% display inline block margin minus 2px. So instead of writing two times, what I will do, I'll write it here with a comma. Okay, with a comma when I write it, what will happen? It will get the same styles for left and right. Okay, fine. Now let us finish it fast. Okay, what are the things we need now? The next thing is in the right hand side box, I want this H1 some heading, business name or tagline. Okay, so I'll write a H1 inside that right side box. So this is the left hand side box. Inside left hand side box, we have only image. In the right hand side box, I'll write H1 welcome to Edupoli. Okay, so this heading should be visible. Let us see. Yes, it is visible. Don't worry about this alignment, why it is coming down, because we already know how to align the things, isn't it? So we don't need to be scared why it is coming down, why it is coming up. No need to worry. After welcome to Edupoli, what do we have? Some text is there. Okay, so let me put some random text. Okay, so how do we get random text? We just search in Google something called a lorem ipsum. So lorem ipsum will give you some random text. Okay, so here we can get some random text like this. So I'll copy some text like this. This much is enough. Yeah. So what I'll do, I'll create a paragraph. After the H1, I need a paragraph. I'll put this. Fine. Then let us go to our browser. Put yes, the text has also come. Next, what do we need? We need a button. It is written call to action. So I'll put a button here. After the paragraph, I'll put a button where I write a register. Okay. Register in Edupoly or something, just like that. Okay. So this is the thing I'm getting. But a button should be of some design, right? There are some design. So we'll put that color and all. So for the button, what I will use, button is background color blue, and I want to apply some padding from the inside. Okay, so left and right we learned today how to apply padding. So in the button padding, I'll apply top and bottom 10 px, left and right 16 px. Okay, top and bottom 10 px, 16 px from left and right. So we already learned this two values. So I'm getting this button, and the text also I want it to be white color. So let me make it color white. So it will automatically change the text color to white. Fine. So up to here, I am totally okay. Now the next thing is, this thing is having a gap here. Can you see from the left side? So this is nothing but I will not apply margin. What I will do is I will apply padding to this right hand side box. This whole box, I'll apply padding. Okay, fine. So what I will do, right hand side box. Okay, so I need to write the style for that. Right box padding is 30 px, let's say. So it's becoming, again it is coming to the next line, because when the moment I applied the padding, what has happened, the size of the box has increased, isn't it? So what I have to do to avoid the increase of the size, I have to use box sizing that I have learned today. So what I will do, to both of them only I will apply the box sizing. No problem, even if I apply to both of them, there is no problem. So box sizing, border box, right? So now I can see it has again come back to the original position. Now the 30 px padding is also applied. So I will show you by inspecting it. I'll show you how it is working. Or else what we can do is we can apply only padding from the left hand side, not from the top, right, bottom, and all those things, right? I can do that. So let me try to do that if it is possible. So what I will do, I'll not apply padding 10, 16 like this. I'll write padding left 16 px. Or how much did I apply? 30 px. Sorry. Sorry. Not on the button. Sorry. Right. And the padding right box, padding left, padding 30 px. Fine. Okay. Now what I will get? I'm getting something like this. Okay. Fine. Now what I want to show you is, I want to show you by inspecting how it is looking like. So see here, this is the right box. The right box is having a padding. Left box is okay. So these are all fine. And right box is now the only with the alignment. Okay. So alignment is not fixed. So what I will do, I have to apply the vertical align to both of them. And where it is coming exactly in the center of the image. Can you see? The right hand side part is in the center of the image, not at the top, not at the bottom, in the center, isn't it? So what I will do, I'll apply the vertical align middle to both of them. So here on the both of boxes, left, right, left, comma, right, I am writing vertical align middle. Now see what will happen. Reload, and we got what we wanted. Everything in the center. Image is on the left hand side. Right hand side, we have three things: heading, paragraph, button, and then we have some gap here. How did I create this gap? Using some padding left. So this thing we didn't learn today in the beginning, right? So padding left. So if you want only from one side, you can write padding left, padding right, padding top, padding bottom, that way also. If you want from all side only, then we use that padding property. Same thing will happen for margin also. margin left, margin right alone also you can apply. Okay. Okay, fine. Then we created this gap using padding left, and then we applied vertical line middle to both of them to align them in the center. Okay, so this is what we are able to do. So here I think we have covered all the things. We have applied box sizing, we have applied vertical align, we have the padding, all those things we have used. Okay, that's it. And inline block also we are using, right? That's it for this session. Okay, try to complete these assignments, whatever assignments are there. If you are able to do this, so this one will be very easy. This previous one box is there, small boxes are there, this is having different height. Apply vertical align, it will come in the center, and apply some margin here or padding here, whatever you want, and you can create this kind of setup. Okay, so all these things are very easy. I have done the hard one so that you can do the other things. So this one also try to do. This is also three boxes having same size. Okay. Okay, that's it for this session. Okay, see you in the next class.